Hello, everybody. Doc, how are you? Thanks for having us. You good? Yeah, let's go.
Good morning. My name is Kiana Brown Brewington. I'm currently working here at Newbridge Medical Center, making $13 per hour as a document image specialist. I'm a single mother of two, a 12-year-old son, and a 5-year-old girl who has special needs. My daughter was born in 2013, only 24 weeks, weighing less than a pound. She spent 7 months in the NICU, and during that time, she had seizures and brain bleed. It was also during that time in my life I became a single mother. My children's father died in November of 2013, before our daughter ever left the hospital. While I'm very grateful to be gainfully employed and to be making more than minimum wage, it is hard to be a single parent, especially with a special needs child. It requires a lot of time and extra support to make sure children get what they need in life. That's why I am not only the only one when I say I am thankful that Governor Murphy and the legislature have made raising wages a priority. Increasing wages will mean more security for my family, helping gainfully that we will be able to pay food, medical expenses, and housing. This will make a world of difference for so many families like ours across New Jersey. I would also like to thank my CEO, Deborah Viscano, for taking proactive steps to making raising wages a reality for workers like me here at Newbridge. Thank you. Now I would like to welcome CEO Deborah Visconi.
Thank you, Kiana. Thank you all for being here. Welcome to Bergen Newbridge Medical Center. As president and CEO of the largest hospital in New Jersey and a safety net hospital, we see firsthand the impact financial insecurity can have on a person's health and well-being. At Bergen Newbridge Medical Center, we are committed to providing essential services through a unique continuum of care that focuses on treating the whole person, and having this bill come to fruition is an essential step in providing that care. It ensures that our workforce, the workforce we depend upon, can live here in the state where they work and have the means and peace of mind to be able to take care of their families. We employ a large and diverse workforce. We purchase goods and services from our communities. We play a major role in the economic and social vitality of the communities we serve. With the vision and leadership of Governor Phil Murphy and our Bergen County Executive, James J. Tedesco, the increase in minimum wage will make a meaningful difference in the lives of our employees who are with us here today, those that have dedicated themselves to caring for others, and for those that seek our care, as well as the many Bergen County residents we treat every day. Studies have shown that stress caused by financial insecurity can have real demonstrated impact on our physical health. Here at Bergen Newbridge Medical Center, we treat many patients who are concerned about their finances, and this bill will make a tangible difference and allow so many residents to have a better foundation for the future. We applaud the governor for his outstanding efforts to bring this bill to life. Bergen Newbridge Medical Center is committed to ensuring that every worker at our hospital is making $15 an hour this year.
Yeah.
This is our pledge, our priority, fully supported by our county executive. My friends and colleagues, leadership is doing the right thing for the right reason at the right time, and that time is today. Our governor and county executive are committed to making New Jersey more livable, more affordable, and enjoyable. We are proud to host this important event today, and proud that our employees and patients can rely on us to always make decisions with their best interests in mind, and that we are at the forefront of instituting a $15 an hour minimum wage. Thank you, and please know you're always welcome to come back to Newbridge. And it is my distinct honor to introduce our governor, Phil Murphy.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you all. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll slip you a 20 for doing that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. What a treat to be here. Thank you, Deborah Visconti, for that wonderful introduction and for what you're doing here and for your welcome to Newbridge Medical Center. And of course, thank you. Where's Kiona? Kiona, what inspiring. Kiona Brown Brewington, God bless you and your children and your life story, and to you and all of your colleagues for your commitment to the people you assist here every day. Let's give it up for everybody who works here. It's always a pleasure to be in Paramus. Tell him I'll call him right back. And a special pleasure. It's a special pleasure when I get to be in Paramus to celebrate good news with my friend and one of this town's greatest sons and an extraordinary leader, Bergen County Executive Jim Tedesco. Jim? I just said to Jim the last time we were together was at in the aftermath of the Markel plant fire, and I said it's nice to be at something that has a little bit more upbeats. Keep all those folks, 500 workers who are trying to find their way forward. Please keep them in your prayers. We're also going to hear from two other extraordinary leaders. Assemblywoman Valerie Vanieri Huddle is with us today. Valerie, God bless you. And Freeholder Chairwoman Germaine Ortiz, another extraordinary leader. I'll screw this up, I'm sure, but they are also joined by other extraordinary elected officials. Assemblywoman Lisa Swain, Assemblyman Chris, Assemblyman Chris Tully, Assemblyman Clinton Calabrese, Freeholder David Gans, Freeholder Tom Sullivan, our Commissioner of Health, Dr. Sharif El-Nahal, and leaders from both the medical and business side of the healthcare industry are with us today. Welcome to each and every one of you. And where would we be without our brothers and sisters of labor? I want to give Ricky Simcoe of AFSCME and all of his colleagues and all the brothers and sisters in labor here a big shout out and thank you for the Today is a new day in New Jersey. Yesterday, I was incredibly proud and honored to sign a law that put our state on a clear and responsible path to $15 an hour minimum wage. Under big day, yeah. Complete shameless fishing for applause on my part. Under our new law, workers will see a series of annual wage increases, beginning with a jump from what is $8.85 as we stand here today. That will jump all the way to $10 an hour on July 1st, $11 an hour on January 1st, and will go up $1 per year till we get to January 1st, 2024. And by the way, I'm incredibly proud that Deborah and her team to see that Newbridge Medical Center isn't going to require their employees to wait. And I thank you for setting a responsible example that we hope others will follow. And by the way, Jim Tedesco was also one of those who didn't wait for us to act at the state level to do what was right. In November of 2017, he announced that Bergen County would be the first county in New Jersey to ensure a $15 an hour wage for its employees. Jim, congratulations, man. Well done. And when he signed that, Assemblyman Gary Scher's in the house. Gary, nice to see you, man. I assume none of you are checking in. You're just here for the event. Is that right? When Jim signed that measure, he said, and Jim, I'm sure you remember this, and I'm going to quote you, "Good managers understand that their employees need to be valued." Amen to that, right? Amen. That is something that we heard again and again from employers who supported our efforts to raise the wage. They understand that when you pay workers a livable wage, you get more out of your workers, right? And they, in turn, can get more out of their own lives and can put themselves in a better place to provide for themselves and for their families. And that is good, I have to say, as well for local businesses, too. I quoted yesterday an interview that the New York Times had done a couple of weeks ago with a dad who was asked, I believe a Trenton-based dad, what would raising the minimum wage mean for him? And he said it would be a chance to take my boy out bowling or maybe to the movies or to buy a pizza. And I made the point, and it's true. This is not isolated. Just because we raise the minimum wage, people aren't going to put that away in some hermetically sealed box. They're going to spend it. They're going to go to a pizzeria or go to the movies or go bowling. And that's good for not just themselves and their families and their loved ones, but it's good for our local economy as well. And I'm proud that this is the mindset, and this is not a coincidence why we're here today at this very location. That's the mindset here at Newbridge Medical Center. Their decision to move the minimum wage to $15 an hour in advance of the new state law bears out what we already know, that this is the right thing to do. One of the things that we heard from employers who had raised their base wages to $15 and above was that by doing so, they saw increased morale and less turnover, and actually spent less in the long run because they weren't having to continually train new employees. In the healthcare arena especially, ensuring staff stability and quality is a paramount concern. Newbridge is proudly joining, I might add, other leading healthcare providers like RWJ Barnabas and Cooper Medical Center in ensuring a livable $15 minimum wage for their employees. That's what it all comes down to. Stronger families and a stronger workforce making our entire society and economy stronger. Stronger and fairer, not one or the other, but both at the same time. Thank you again. Thank you again to everyone here for the tremendous welcome and for the extraordinary work that you do day in and day out. It really sets the bar. Now, I have to, at the risk of making a fool of myself, the man to my left is coming up to speak next, the County Executive, Jim Tedesco. But I would be remiss if I did not remind us all that it is Jimmy's birthday. So, somebody's got to do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jim. Happy birthday to you. Jim Tedesco.
Doesn't get better than having a governor of the state of New Jersey sing happy birthday to you, huh? God. Yeah. We're all those pair of sixes. First, thank you, Governor, and thank you for the bill signing yesterday. I had the pleasure and privilege to sit in the audience and watch the governor sign the bill and see the faces of those around just break out in such huge smiles because their life had changed dramatically yesterday when the governor signed that bill. And today we stand with the governor and all of you to say that Bergen County, the leader in $15 minimum wage, is going to continue to be the leader by having Newbridge Medical Center have a $15 minimum wage. And while Deb is the CEO and Deb helped spearhead this, Deb is the president and CEO, but the chair of Care Plus Bergen, which is the managing entity for Newbridge Medical Center, is Joe Mascindaro. And Joe, thank you for allowing this to take place. We were the first county in New Jersey to take this step, and I'm proud that we led the way. It was the right thing to do for our Bergen County workers, and it is the right thing to do now for New Jersey workers. Governor Murphy, thank you for signing this legislation yesterday, because as I said before, this will change the lives of hundreds of thousands and eventually millions of people throughout this state. I was honored to join you yesterday with that signing, and it was clear to me and all those that were there yesterday that this 15-hour minimum wage will set the bar for not only New Jersey, but those other states in the nation that need to do the same thing to have a livable wage for all people across this country. Deb, thank you for all that you have done since 2017 and to support the employees of New Jersey's largest hospital. I know how much these employees love you and what you and your team are doing here. You and your team are demonstrating that Bergen Newbridge Medical Center values its employees and recognizes that paying workers a fair living wage makes a real difference in their lives. When more of our families are able to make ends meet, it improves the quality of life, and impacts are felt throughout all of our communities. It helps grow our economy as these workers have more dollars to spend at local businesses. Today is another big win for working people because everybody wins when we pay people fairly. Thank you.
Please tell me yes. Thank you, Jim. And by the way, we signed the bill yesterday in Elizabeth in Union County, and they were great hosts, but it was really striking, and Bergen was there in a big way, led by the county executive, but counties from all over the state, all sorts of unions, all grassroots and activist organizations were with us. It was magical. And this is not so bad either, I have to say. This is a pretty special venue. They say it takes a village. No one person can move something as historic as a $15 minimum wage for a state. We're only the fourth state to do it in the country. It cannot be done no matter how good the intentions, no matter how strong the efforts by any one individual or even by any one part of government. And in particular, in this case, it took cooperation and coordination with the legislature. And it is my honor to bring up one of the leaders in that fight over many years, Assemblywoman Valerie Vigneri Huddle.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Yeah.
You know, I was sitting in the audience a few minutes ago, and I looked at the backdrop. And I said to the commissioner and to Freeholder Sullivan, I said, this is all of us standing back here. I had the chills because you are all on the front lines working for our loved ones, working for our families every day, and no one deserves this raise more than all of you. So I applaud all of you. I also want to give a shout out to HPAE because you have always been on the front line. So HPAE. And in Trenton, and the Bergen legislators know this, we go down and we are stereotyped as a wealthy county. But when you look at the bottom line, poverty can be found anywhere in Bergen County. You look at the Alice report, 50% of families living in Hackensack are struggling. 54% are struggling in Lodi and 58% in Garfield. We need to do better. How proud are we today living in Bergen County under the leadership of this great county executive who had the foresight to do this while we in the legislature were struggling for years. So thank you, Jim Tedesco, for allowing Bergen County to be the lead. And I have to say one thing about this governor. Last year, every time I get gas, my gas attendant would say to me, "So who are you voting for governor? Who's going to be the next governor?" And I said, "Phil Murphy, of course." This is the truth. I don't make this up. I have a script. It's certainly not part of my script. So he said, "Well, what is he going to do for me?" This is God's truth. He said, "Is he going to raise my minimum wage? I am making $9 an hour." And you know, this gas attendant, think about it. I roll down my window in the cold and I hurry up and roll it back up while he's pumping my gas because I'm freezing as my car sits there idling. He comes out in the cold weather. He comes out in the pouring rain. And then, fast forward, the governor was elected. He said, "So when is he going to raise that minimum wage?" And I said, "We're working on it, Mark. We're working on it." And last week I said, "I have great news. We're going to have a bill signing on Monday." And I saw him this morning before I came. I took a photo and I said, "I promise I'm going to get you a selfie with the governor and send it to Mark." This is the story of the human lives that are touched every day. Because he said to me, he lives in Bergen County, he has 2 children, he works more than 10-hour shifts, and he gets $9 an hour. And he can't afford to put food on his table for his family. So this is the story, I think, that resonates for each and every one of us here. It's a proud day in Bergen County. It's a proud day to be a New Jerseyan. I thank Governor Phil Murphy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But now I have to read my remarks.
Thank you, Valerie. Valerie mentioned something. If you haven't ever associated with yourself, it is worth doing it. There's a report called Alice that Valerie just referred to that is put out by the Northern Jersey United Way of Northern Jersey. And Alice stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, but Employed. So this is basically the working poor in this state, folks who are working full-time but are far below any sort of sustainable level to meet their needs. And that, in addition to eradicating poverty, that cohort is overwhelmingly large in our state, in particular in a wealthy county like this. So Valerie, thank you so much for pointing that out. We have one more exceptional leader representing the Freeholder Board today to say a few words, and then we'll take a couple of questions, and I hope take a few pictures. I have a few more birthday selections, by the way, before we break as well for Jim. But please help me welcome to the podium the chairwoman of the Board of Chosen Freeholders in Bergen County, Germaine Ortiz.
Good morning. Good morning. I couldn't be more proud to stand here today and be part of this amazing Bergen County team with our leader, with Jim Tedesco, and my colleagues on the board, and now with Deb Visconti, just having value for our employees and leading the way. And I am just so proud of them, and I'm just so glad to be working with all of you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I thank Governor Murphy for choosing Bergen County as the place to show how to accelerate our economic growth in our state. Our governor took a bold and historic step in sharing this new law, the minimum wage in New Jersey, before yesterday wasn't reflective of what our state stands for. A single person has an uphill battle trying to make ends meet at a minimum wage job. If such a person is also supporting a family, that hill just got steeper. People working a full-time job at minimum wage should not have to live in poverty, but that is what's happening today in the majority of states across the country. Raising wages will not only benefit the workers, it will benefit businesses as well. It's been proven many times that when you give a raise to workers, they will spend it, allowing local businesses to thrive and invest in our communities. New Jersey will show the rest of the country the best way to grow our economy. It's from the bottom up and allowing more opportunities to the middle class. Thank you again to Governor Murphy for your commitment to empowering American families by giving them their fair share of the pie. Thank you again. Have a good night.
Again, I want to thank the county executive, Deb. I want to thank you and your extraordinary team and everybody who works to make this place so special and so renowned. I want to thank the legislators, the freeholders. I also, again, want to reiterate, it's a real honor. Mr. Chairman, great to have you with us. It's a real honor to have our Commissioner of Health, Dr. Sharif Elnahal, with us today as well. I want to give that one more shout out. Time for a couple of questions from the press, if they exist. David, please.
Governor, two-part question, if you don't mind.
Well, this will be the first time, David, so please bear with me.
What measures would you support to help those who may, as a result of getting a raise to $15 an hour, lose some of their means-tested benefits like housing or child care or food support?
Yep. And what's the second piece?
The second part is, do you support Cory Booker's candidacy for president?
Well, that one's easy. Yes. I endorsed him in a tweet the day he announced last Friday, and we've got a much longer endorsement coming out. I think the world of the guy, and I would be saying that, and this is an important point that I think I said Friday, but I know I'm going to say in a longer statement. I'd be saying that if I were from Mars. The fact that I'm from New Jersey, I see his work up close. He's been a friend since he was a city councilman in Newark for a long time. I just think he's a unique talent at a time in America where we need to bring people together. You know, on the one hand, stand your ground and stick to your principles, which he does, but also with a unique way to bring people together. Look at the opportunity zones and that awful federal tax bill from a year ago, December, that we're still digging out from. The one bright light Cory Booker got done with Tim Scott, Republican from South Carolina, which are opportunity zones. Those will transform New Jersey. And secondly, the comprehensive criminal justice reform that he helped push through at the end of last year. I think the world of him. Back to your first part, we understand that the hip bone is connected to the thigh bone, so I don't have a complete answer for you, but we're very conscious of that. And the great news is this is going to evolve over a period of years. We've done it in a responsible way. So we're getting some quick jumps. As I mentioned, we're getting to $11. It was $8.60 35 days ago. It's going to be $11 on January 1st. We're very conscious that we don't tip the scale, so more to come on that. Please.
One on topic, couple off topic, if you don't mind. First on topic, how valid would you say the arguments are that this could be detrimental to smaller businesses and may put businesses out of business?
So we respect the arguments, and that's part of the reason I use the word responsible. So there's no argument to me that says a two-income household at $8.85 an hour with two dependents can't even see the poverty line. There's no argument, none, that would dissuade me or any of us, I suspect, from raising the minimum wage, at least to give folks a fighting chance. People ask me all the time, also, what's the magic about 15? Well, it's a big stop on the journey, but let's get there first. And the good news is we've seen other cities and other states that have enacted this. So we now have a fair amount of data that supports our long ago deeply held beliefs that these are a lot of myths. That unemployment will go up, that businesses will go out of business, et cetera. That's not to say that we didn't take that into account. So, for instance, small, true mom and pop small businesses, they will get there in a slightly slower, they'll get there, but they'll get there on a slower scale. Seasonal workers, likewise. Farm workers, likewise. They'll get to $15, they'll get to parity, but they'll do it on a different scale. It's also the driving reason why we didn't do this overnight. We have to do this phased in over time. So as desperate a need as there is, we have to sort of balance both sides of this. So we respect the arguments, let there be no doubt, particularly food retailers, small margin businesses. But we also, I mentioned this earlier, there's this notion that folks will take the increased amount of money that they earn and put it in some hermetically sealed jar. That's not how it works. We've also got good data in places like Seattle and elsewhere that folks get it and they spend it, and that contributes to the economy.
You can put on your DGA hat for a second. In Virginia, word is today that Ralph Northam wants to hire a private investigator. There are also the sexual assault allegations against the LG there. What's your impression of what's going on there?
So I'll be brief on this because it's not only off topic, it's way off topic. But I have spoken to this. I've got no visibility on the LG's situation. But this came up just as I was literally driving to New York last Friday night to give an interview on minimum wage on MSNBC, and this came up literally en route. and I'll just repeat what I said. And Ralph, by the way, I think is a good man. I know him. I consider him a friend. He's got no choice but to step down. You know, we're the party of Barack Obama. We're the party of inclusion. That's what I mentioned a minute ago. That's what Cory Booker preaches, which is, I find, so attractive. Donald Trump, our president, tries to divide us versus them. In fact, his worst chapter was, I would argue, in Charlottesville, Virginia, a couple of Augusts ago. I'm a former national board member of the NAACP. That experience is deeply seared in me, including that the Ku Klux Klan is a terrorist organization. So there's just no, I don't think there's anywhere to go other than to step back, and I pray that that's what he does. Do you have a PowerPoint presentation, or are we going to, we could set a screen up for you if you'd like. I've got nothing more to add on that. Nothing more to add on that. I've said everything I'm going to say on that. We've launched a whole series of processes, and I'm looking forward. We take them deadly seriously. We're cooperating with the legislature. We're looking forward to this all coming to a head. David, you get one more quickie.
Thanks. When are you going to have a town hall, like in person?
I'm doing a telephone town hall, I think, tomorrow. I'll be out there, David. Would you like me to invite you? Maybe we could do it together. Maybe we could do it together. Believe me, I know you will. I want to thank Deb, you and your team, extraordinary team at Newbridge Medical Center. I want to thank Jim. Yeah. I want to thank Jim Tedesco and wish him again a bless you, buddy, for a big birthday, and you earned it. For your leadership, which is extraordinary in this county, not just on minimum wage, but across the whole series of interests, the legislators, the freeholders, the commissioner, the leaders. God bless you all. A new day is dawned in New Jersey. A new day is dawned in Bergen County at Newbridge Medical Center. Onward and upward. Thank you all.
Okay, now in your pictures. Oh, look at that.